In this tutorial in CyberLink AudioDirector, we're going to look at two ways to deal with the issue of wind noise. We do have a parallel tutorial for those of you who don't have AudioDirector, which is a separate purchase. And if you're using Wave Editor, we do have a tutorial on that. We'll insert a card for that at the end of this tutorial. Audio noise in the form of wind is very difficult to remove because the audio noise covers the entire audio spectrum. And the best we can do in post-production is take some of the edge off of it. Let's look at how we might be able to do that with AudioDirector. I'm going to click on my clip here and highlight it. I do not have to separate the audio track from the video track. And then because I purchased AudioDirector, when I click on Edit Audio, I can choose AudioDirector and it will load my program. Once the program's loaded, I'm going to see an image of my waveform. I also have a preview in the lower left corner, which is really nice. But I'm in the edit mode. What I want to go to is a repair place. They call this restore. I would call it repair. But when I click on that button or tab at the top, it takes me to another screen on the left side. We're going to go to the noise reduction option. And when you click on noise reduction, you have a pop-up screen in the middle, and it gives you two options. First is auto denoise. The second is simply called, again, noise reduction. Now it recommends using auto denoise for a clip that's recorded outside or with poor acoustics or anything else that it calls noisy. This helps reduce noise if you can't sample a time interval containing the noise only. What this means is if I have a recording that's basically solid, but then I have a place in it where I have noise, the noise reduction is generally a better option. But we're going to use both of them in this case, and you can see which you think works best for you. So let's work with the audio denoise. We'll click on Next. Now the screen in the middle changed. We have two sliders and several buttons. Let's look at what these do. The first one is the sensitivity. The default is 50%. So how sensitive is it to what it considers to be noise? We'll try 50 and then we'll try 100 later. The dry-wet mix, what in the world is that all about? From reading the documentation, it tells me that this is the percentage of the restored version of this audio sound at 100%, which is our default. And if we slide back closer to 0, we get more and more of the original audio. I'm not sure why I would want it to be dry or mostly original, but you can adjust the slider back to the left if you want to. Since the default's 100%, we're going to leave it there. Then we can preview either the restored result or the original. I'm going to click on Original, and now you'll be able to hear the problem that we have with this audio track. Let's click on Preview. I'm recording this video outside on the windy day. Okay, that's the problem with no correction. Let's go to Restored, see if we hear a difference with 50% sensitivity. I'm recording this video outside on the windy day. It's hard to detect a lot of difference at 50% because the wind is so bad in this clip. Let's ratchet it up to 100%. And see if we can tell a difference here. We'll go back to the original. I'm recording this video outside on the windy day. Let's try restored now. I'm recording this video outside on the windy day. I don't think it's my imagination, but I believe there's a little bit more clarity in the voice track, in the narration in this particular clip, when I do maximum sensitivity and leave the wet-dry mix all the way to wet. If I'm happy with the modest change I've been able to make, I simply click on the Apply button and it will go ahead and update it and change it. But what I'm going to do is go back, we'll close this out, and we won't save the changes. And we're going to go back in and use the other method in AudioDirector. We go back to the Restore tab at the top, noise reduction. Now let's try the other option, which is called noise reduction again, redundant but helpful, and click on the Next button. When we get here, I can use a preset or a smart analysis to find the noise. Now if I use a preset, I click on this button, I only have two options. One is a microphone and the other is a room, and you see the difference in the wave pattern that it finds in either case that it will try to apply. I'm working outside and not in either of these, so we're going to use a smart analysis. Now it says select a range of audio that contains the noise, and then it wants to analyze. So I find I can't select anything in this, but I can click on the Analyze button. Let's do that. And this is a noise profile it found when I clicked on Analyze. I have the dry-wet mix, I have the reduction level, and I have a sensitivity. So I have three sliders in this case. Let's listen to what it's at with the sensitivity at 50% again, the dry-wet at 100, and the reduction level set to 2. I'm recording this video outside on a windy day. To my ears, it sounds like this has improved it already over the other option. Let's go all the way up to 5 and see what we hear. I'm recording this video outside on a windy day. It seems like I hear a little less. Let's click all three of them all the way up to maximum and try again. I'm recording this video outside on a windy day. Unless my ears are deceiving me, it seems like I was able to get a slightly better result here than I did before. Now, if I want to save what I've got as a new preset, since I only had one called room and one called microphone, I could actually save these characteristics, and then I would have them there for the next time. But let's assume that this is as good as we can get it, and we're going to want to move forward from here, so we'll click on the Next button. And then it says, what range of audio do you want to apply the reduction to? The analyze range, the entire content, or a different range? I'm going to use the entire content just for fun. And again, you can save it as a preset. We'll click on Apply. And here I see a slight change in the waveform, but not a lot. Again, we're limited when it comes to this awful issue called wind noise. So now I'm ready. I want to put it back into my video. I'll click on the X in the upper right corner. I want to save the changes. I'll say yes. It goes back to my original AudioDirector screen. And here I see I have the new audio file, which is down on track number 1, the sound area. I have the original video. I haven't changed the original audio. It's still there, untouched. We can go ahead and try to play this and see what we'll hear. I'm recording this video outside on a windy day. Now again, the wind noise is a problem. It will continue to be a problem, but it seems like it's not quite as acute as it was before. That's some tips on trying to deal with wind noise. The bottom line is the best way you can solve the problem is deal with it in production, not post-production. Re-record it, put a windscreen on your microphone, put your back to the wind. Anything you can do to help reduce that will get a lot farther down the road toward a quality production than what we can simply do here because of the frequencies that are involved in the wind.